All right, here's the latest on the McCann Buffet Farm. The Great Pyrenees has done its job and kept the coyotes away, but the hawks are still a problem. So that guy right there, oh, he just ran away. The Isomerian, or however you say it, is I'm trying to get him to breed with everybody. And you can sort of see let me see if I can find some of the males that are still here. Usually the roosters I'm gonna harvest, but the ones that have a black comb to them, I'm keeping. That guy right there, I've kept as well, and he's like exactly the opposite of what I want, because he's all white, and the coyotes and the hawks seem to pick off the white ones a whole lot faster. But he's super nice. So, and he's a derivative of a meat bird, so I'm gonna see if I can get some of his genetics to breed down. One reason I'm harvesting out the roosters, if you can look at this girl's back, I guess I have too many roosters, and they're doing their thing, and it's hurting the girls. So my big thing is I want eggs. I don't really actually care to have chickens or ducks, but the only way to get eggs fresh is to have a chicken, because that's who makes them. And I don't really care working with the ducks. So there he is again. So oh, he's hiding. He does a good job of staying alive. And you can see everything on him is black, which is so cool. And then this guy is a mix. So he's got a black comb, but he's got other red and black comb, but he's got the weird feet. So he's a mixture of something. Anyway, it's going pretty good. I got a lot of dark colored birds. The coop is doing well. I just cheated, and what I do inside the coop is, since all my guys free range, they come out these auto doors. That's an omelet auto door, and I just keep it with some mulch in there, and then I'll throw seed in here, and these guys are gonna come and do their little spread thing, so they'll kind of turn it for me. And it does smell a little bit, but it's not terrible. My kids say it's terrible, but I don't think it's terrible. Other things that we've done, I've started taking down some of the nets that we were using. So I've got these nets everywhere to keep the hawks off, and hawks weirdly can fly through this stuff like it's nothing, because they fly through the forest all the time. So it doesn't really work. Now in the garden area that we've got, it does work. So I've kept it pretty well enclosed. So this net goes everywhere and it hangs over the edges. I threw some seeds in here, so I got some stuff growing that is pretty random. I don't know what actually this is. It was just some of the bird seed that I had and I threw in there. So it could be weeds, I don't know. But I'll give it some time and see what happens. Hopefully it's not like poison ivy or honeysuckle. And then over here, I threw down some seeds from Tractor Supply, and I covered it with some of my old gates so that the chickens couldn't get in there. Anytime I harvest a chicken, I do put them in here because they're dead and they fuel the ground. But this is actually going pretty good. These guys want to get out. I'm sure they'll make their way out. These guys found their way out. So we'll have something growing in there. I don't know what, but I really hate gardening. So I garden the easy way, which is just throw stuff in there. I got some other garden boxes, but really they're just bird baths now. One thing that the weather changed, the canopy we had in here blew over the top of these omelet coops, which I don't really particularly care the omelet coops, but we still have them, we're gonna use them. So it gives it a little extra shelter from the sun and has decreased the heat in there a lot. And so the chickens have moved back in, some of them. Weirdly, they have a lot of options for coops, but they all choose this one. They all group together. I guess birds of a feather flock together and all that. And they just hang out together. One of the smartest things I did there, if you watch the other videos, you saw me and my kids help get these coops, I have another one just like this, off the ground. So I put a layer of bricks down there so that they wouldn't get so weather warped. I also added this siding and painted it, give it a little bit more protection. It's still very open air, so there's a lot of breathing going on, but the rain usually comes in from this direction, and I got trees on the other side, so it doesn't matter as much over there. The other thing I've been back to is I'm doing fermented food. So I'll take this wild bird seed mixture from Tractor Supply and just throw about 2 inches into a bucket, then fill it up with water and let it sit there. They'll ferment, and then I'll come out and just lay it out. And these guys, they love it. So it's cheaper and it keeps them around. The only reason, there he is, look, there's the Isomerian. Can I get a picture of him? There he is. Yeah, he's so cool. I'm probably saying that name wrong, but whatever. They love this food. It's cheap and it keeps them around. For the most part, they just free range, but I do feed them because I want them to stay. And let's see, this is the outline of our garden that never really worked out for us. This is the second coop. I did the same remodeling job over here, but I've got the most recent chicks that we hatched in this coop. So I'm trying out some new stuff. I'm sure there's better studies and I could have just read this, but sometimes just putting in the practice, putting in the reps helps. I'm trying to create a place where I have a lot of hens and getting eggs, and I don't really mind the hawks stealing. So first step is get all the chicks to be black because they don't pick up the black ones as much. Obviously you can see I failed there. There's 3 of them that are not black. And the next step was getting a Great Pyrenees to come out and stay. He doesn't like it out in the heat. I mean, I don't blame him. So these guys get to free range, and when they free range and they're out there and the dog's not, the hawks can come down and swoop them up. I have found that if I keep them in this coop for about 2 months, they're big enough and maybe wise enough, their little chicken brains start to understand what's going on, and they seem to be able to live longer. So I'm gonna try that this time with these guys. They're about maybe 45 days old. Anyway, that's what we got going on right now. Everything's working out pretty good. I'm getting my system in line much better. The unfortunate thing is livestock are living creatures, so I have to admit to a bit of city slickerness. I just don't feel right like processing roosters all the time, especially if I'm not going to eat them. I just don't have the time. I hatched these guys at the wrong time. I wanted them to be able to have warmer weather so they wouldn't, you know, be cold chicks that die off. But I didn't think about the fact that a lot of stuff was happening in my life right now, and I just don't have the time to process these guys. So this one, like I said, broke my rules. He's a meat bird that is a rooster, and he's white. So the meat bird is cool, but I don't really care for that. I just want eggs. And he's all white, but he's made it so far. His mom is still around, who is a meat bird. And he's super cool. He's not aggressive. And I'm like, well, maybe I can get this guy and one of the all black, so that's not the main one, that's just one of his offspring, to create some, I don't know, some hybrids. Anyway, having chickens isn't terribly tough, but you do have to take care of them and you do need to have some inputs. If you've got some property, they are happy just to roam around. If you have questions, you need help, especially if you're local, happy to help.